Hello again, very warm welcome to the programme. Now, if you're one of our younger viewers, I'm going to tell you something that you won't believe is possible. You'll describe it really as madness and it could never happen. Just supposing that a footballer, let's say a goalkeeper, was a goalkeeper all the way through the winter at a professional level, and that in the summer, again at a professional level, he was a wicket-keeper in the county championship, top cricket. Couldn't happen, could it? Well, look, I've got news for you. It happened many times over, certainly sort of early in my life, and going way back, I think there were 140 players of both sports, all year round sportsmen. We have one of them here in the studio with us this evening with lots of memories and up-to-date thoughts, but he's also an historical figure for another reason. He is the very last of those great sporting all-rounders. A warm welcome to Chris Marples.
Thanks, Al.
I don't know whether that feels you like an antiquity. There's probably two antiquities here in the studio tonight.
It seems a long time ago now, isn't it, that was happening?
And also, as I say, people now, those who weren't around, will not believe that that was possible.
No, I don't think they would. I think now, your cricketers go back probably before Christmas.
Yeah.
Whereas we used to report back on the 1st of April. And the footballers, they more or less don't have any time off at all, probably a few weeks. And they back in straight away. So, we used to get a period where I think the football season, FA Cup was the final game of the season, so we'd all finished a week before. So I only overlapped about 3 or 4 weeks.
Yeah.
And 3 or 4 weeks at the end. So, yeah, it was a bit tight then, but then it just got longer and longer and they overlapped too much. So, yeah, I don't think it can happen again.
I don't think it ever will. And it's been a long time since it did happen via you, when you ceased to do the two things simultaneously in 1987. So we're talking 31 years ago when it was last performed. And for those who don't know, former Chesterfield goalkeeper, former Derbyshire wicket-keeper. He was at Chesterfield for 2 spells, as I well remember, 84 to 87. And then latterly was in the 90s, wasn't it? 92 to 95.
Yeah, that's right.
But in between then, between 1985 and 1987, 2 years, you did that dual role. Tell me how you made that possible.
What happened was, as I say, the cricket had preference. They got the preference. They got the priority. So on the 1st of April, I had to report to Derby. But at that time, I was in, which it wasn't expected, I was in the first team at football. Yeah. So I was then having to go to Derby to do some training, but then on the Thursday, Friday, or on a Monday, Tuesday, if we'd got a game, then they let me go back to Chesterfield and I was playing. So they got their heads together and they made it happen, really.
And there was cooperation between the two.
Oh, yeah, that was great, yeah. I mean, there's been some times, though, when I was at tea time. I remember there was a game in Queen's Park, I think Leicester, and at the tea time, we just fielded all day, and John Duncan came to the players' bar after in tea time and came into the room and said, "Can you report to the ground? I've got a training session
just up at Saltergate."
Just up at Saltergate. So I was thinking they're having a beer after the game. I've got to go up to Saltergate and do some training. For the game on the Saturday.
A long and exhausting day.
Yeah, it could be. Yeah, especially being in field all day. Yeah. So.
Who was paying you the most?
Derbyshire.
Derbyshire were paying you.
Although I only got at that time, my first year, Derbyshire paid me the most. I was when I was at Derbyshire, I'd already signed my agreement to go on April the 1st. But at that time, when it came around then, Chesterfield offered me a contract. £40 a week.
Right.
In 84.
Actually, that was decent then, wasn't it? Not too bad, yeah? You're going back?
Well...
Let me think. No, £40 a week. No, it wasn't.
No, it wasn't. No,
it wasn't.
No, it wasn't. No. So, but that was an opportunity. I took the opportunity. I mean, I'd been given an opportunity from the club. They'd given me a great opportunity to play football with my own team, my own club, the club I love, and still wanted to do well. And to be given that opportunity, it wasn't a problem. No. Money wasn't a problem. But then, from April the 1st, through till July, June the 31st or June, whatever it is, you had to run your contract then.
Yeah.
My contract then was in my status was £1 a week. So I only got £1 a week.
Yeah.
from the first of April.
Yeah, up until the next season.
Up until the contract finished.
Yeah.
And that was to keep it going.
Yeah.
The club had no money.
A
at
nominal
that time.
sort of retainer,
But,
if you
yeah,
like.
it was a pound retainer.
Well, I'll ask you later what you were better at, in your view, wicket-keeping or goalkeeping, and other questions sort of related to that era. The people, for instance, the stars that you had the pleasure of playing against, Viv Richards, Ian Botham, on the cricket field, Rio Ferdinand, Frank Lampard and others on football. Some great memories there. But also you're coaching a Yorkshire League team in Barnsley, Woolly Miners Welfare.
That's right, yeah.
And you've got an indoor cricket centre, so all of those will be subject to areas later. But let's come right up to date and talk about goalkeepers and wicket keepers. Goalkeepers, first of all. Sheffield Wednesday have got a major debate going on at the moment about their keepers, and we'll talk about England, Sheffield United as well. Come to that after this one that's really occupied, and Sheffield Wednesday are playing tonight, so we'll get this in early in the show, where people who are sort of warming up by watching this show before they watch the live Sunderland game in the Carabao Cup. You know Kieran Westwood, and you'll know of Cameron Dawson and Joe Wildsmith, who are two young keepers there. And the manager, Josh Lukai, has made a bold decision to pick the two younger guys ahead of his senior man. What do you make of that?
It's a personal choice, isn't it? I mean, I remember seeing Dawson on loan at Alfreton when Nicky Laura went down there, and I seen there. He was a young lad. He got a big presence about him. But Westwood's done so fantastic, and over the years, and I would imagine they'll be disappointed to be left out. But I mean, the young lads must be showing something. They must be showing something in training. They must be showing something to the manager what he fancies. So I mean, it's his decision. And you can only play one keeper. It's not like an outfield player where you can play anybody. And so it's difficult for the three. There's only one position, so the lad who's holding it at the moment, probably help him perform better to try and keep it.
I think Joe Wildsmith is playing in this current game. As he would do, to give him some match action. I mean, you've been there. I mean, as a senior keeper, not being selected. How hard is that to take?
It's terrible. It's terrible. It's. I think you accept it in the Carabao Cup and the Worthington Cup. What it was, and it wasn't the Milk Cup when I was not that old, but yeah. So, but you do accept it. You want to play every game. I mean, I always wanted to play every single game, and it is disappointing when you're not, because you train all week for one game. You train for 90 minutes. People don't see what you do the 5 days leading up to the game, and that's what you train for. You train all week for 90 minutes, and if you're not playing, then you've just got to go and train again for another expected 90 minutes. And if you're out the side, then it is difficult. It's hard to motivate yourself. It's hard to keep yourself going. So, I would imagine Wes will be a good professional, and I would imagine he'll still keep working and wait for his opportunity.
At 33, you can't wait around too long, can you?
No.
You need to be playing.
I mean, the club might make a decision and let him go out on loan.
Well, I'm sure that must be on the agenda. He's one of the higher earners, and they've got financial fair play issues, which probably might have had a bearing on where the club has decided to go and look to the future.
But the problem is now everybody's got the number ones, haven't they? Everybody will be given the opportunity to the number one, so he might have to go to an higher league club and probably be a number two.
Yeah, that's a harsh reality.
That's another, but
it might also only be a higher league club who could afford his wages.
So it's
bit catch-22, isn't
it? He's in a difficult situation, but as I say, I would imagine that he would keep working and wanting to get his place back. And you don't know what's around the corner. Hopefully, there's no injuries or anything. But that might be an opportunity for somebody to get in.
Now, Sheffield United have got a young keeper on loan from Manchester United, very highly rated, Dean Henderson. I've not really seen enough yet to sort of come down one way or the other. All I do know is that he's keeping out a very good keeper in Simon Moore. As you look at the two Sheffield clubs, do you sort of have a particular feeling about the way the season's going to go for them?
No, I think Sheffield United excelled in the last year. They had a real good season last year. They finished higher, is that right?
They finished just outside the playoffs.
Yeah, so if they can get anywhere near there, I think they'd consider it a good season again. Regarding the Wednesday, I think they'll be looking to try and improve on the results what they had at the end of last season and try and try and climb up that league.
Yeah,
but,
club's in a bit of transition. At the moment,
I think so. Yeah, so it's difficult. It's difficult when when things like that are happening.
Yeah, we'll talk about Chesterfield as well, which is very, very close to your heart to this day. You've had a pretty fair start, 3 wins, and just a defeat the other night at Barrow, and an incredible signing today. An incredible signing,
isn't it? Fantastic.
I mean, a former Premier League player, Kyle Reid, coming into the National League.
Yeah, fantastic.
Can't believe that.
No, he's had a knack of bringing these players in, hasn't he?
Yeah.
Martin's done. He seems to have got a buzz around the club again. There seems to be a buzz around there. I've been to a couple of events over the last few weeks. Went to Tommy Lee's benefit game, and that was again there was a buzz around there, and he looks a bundle of fun. To be fair, and it looks as though he's got the players enjoying it. And I know certainly the supporters are. The supporters are enjoying him. So but to bring in a signing like that, when apparently he was happy with his squad, he wasn't going to buy anybody else, he wasn't going to bring anybody else in. So to get that signing. Maybe because of the sending off the other night, I'm not sure.
Yeah, a player got sent off. He didn't defend him. He said the referee got it right. Well, you want to hear some honesty from a manager.
That's great. I mean, if he's got it right, I mean, it might be filling that position.
Well, he's going to be a winger, isn't he? I mean, Kyle Reid is electric. There's got to be a reason why he's been around a lot and has moved a lot. But despite that, in order to play for the clubs he has and at the level he has, he's got to have a lot of talent.
He's got to have some ability.
And he's still only 30 years old.
Right, yeah. So hopefully, he could have another 4 or 5 years.
Yeah. But he's just got this season under contract.
That's right.
And if he gets him back into the EFL, that'll be good enough for me.
That's all I want. I just want, I just wish they do get back in. It's going to be difficult. I mean, and coming to the Pro Act, I mean, the grounds. It's not a non-league ground, but it is. I'm afraid it is. No. We can say it's not a non-league ground, but it is at the moment. Hopefully Martin Allen will change that round and hopefully we can get back in there next year. Yeah,
he's re-energised the club and he's lit a bonfire under it, and the idea is to do it quickly, because if you don't, it can take years. Tranmere took 3, I think. They're just back.
Mansfield, how long did that take? Lincoln went down twice, haven't they? They've been up and gone down again. So, it must be an hard league. And I mean, Alfred, when you think Alfred was in it a few years ago and got close to the playoffs, and then obviously got relegated the year after. So, and you look at York City, they've gone down. Another one of my former clubs. Yeah. In fact, I haven't got a club now. What's in Football League who I played for, which is
Stockport.
Stockport. Yeah. The only one was Scunthorpe. Right. And I don't talk about Scunthorpe. I wasn't there long.
But you couldn't have imagined that, could you? No. 3 of your former clubs,
and 2 of them in National North.
Yeah, I'm mentioning York, strangely. Had a message just before coming on air. Guy Mowbray tweeted me, BBC's #1 commentator and a well-known York City fan, to say, give best wishes to Marples. He said, remembers you fondly from you must have played well for York.
I had 4 real happy years there.
Yeah.
I had 4 real happy years there. It was a great club. It was a great club, and I made a lot of friends there, and it's disappointing to see them go where they went. And Stockport, as well. When I left Chesterfield and went to Stockport, and they then went into the Championship, and then they've come down, and as I say, they've just gone on like a stack of dominoes, don't they? And now they're in North as well.
Yeah, when you think of the Danny Bagara years and Dave Jones, who managed them, I think, in what is now the Championship at that level. Yeah. And they're now 2 leagues below the EFL, as are York City. Yeah. So Chesterfield don't want that. It's coming back quickly.
Yeah, we just hope that they do it quick, don't we?
Yeah, absolutely. More chat to come about your dual role with Derbyshire and with Chesterfield as a goalkeeper. Obviously, in the summer, it's been dominated by the World Cup, and how you must have felt for Jordan Pickford going through the emotions, every emotion of a goalkeeper, and how he came out of it as a hero.
He's had a fantastic tournament, didn't he? He had a fantastic tournament. I mean, personally, he wouldn't have been my choice.
Right, who would have been?
I would have gone with Butland.
Right.
And spoke to Gordon Banks the other week. Whether it's just because he's from Stoke, I don't know, but he fancied Butland to be in.
Yeah.
But you can't take anything away from Pickford. He came in, he took his opportunity. He made some immaculate saves. He made some fantastic saves. It was a credit, he took every chance he got, and it was great he took that, and he had a fantastic tournament, didn't he?
He certainly did. I mean, without having the physical stature of Butland and another keeper, you associate that role with somebody who's well over 6 feet tall.
That's right, yeah.
But perhaps an illustration of how the game has changed for you fellas between the sticks, that his distribution skills, his footwork was a key element to Gareth Southgate.
That's right, picking him,
And that wouldn't have been in your day at all.
No,
very little.
I mean, we never had to kick it really. I mean, as I say, we went there to Chesterfield the other week, and I was speaking to Gordon Banks, and he doesn't feel that he would have played many games.
Really?
He doesn't feel as though he'd have played in this day and age. He wasn't 6 foot Dodd, was he? He was
not quite. Was he?
No.
Was he
So he felt that if he was born in this day, he didn't feel as though he'd be played too many games. Although he did work a lot in his jumping like I did, but no, it's the game's changed. The game's changed massively now, and everybody wants 6'2", 6'3", 6'4" keepers.
But on top of that, they also
want him who can play football.
Yeah.
With the feet.
But if you had to kick it, you'd be whacking it, wouldn't you?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
You might throw it occasionally.
Yeah.
Or you'd just clear it.
But now, they wanted to play front back.
You wouldn't put your foot on it.
No. But it can cost you. I mean, because it cost in the World Cup final, didn't it? World Cup final. I mean, the guy down at Tottenham. But it can cost you. But saying that, they build from the back. Now, the clubs I've played for don't never built from the back, to be quite honest. No. And the managers I've played for never really built from the back. But no, I mean, people now are talking about kicking, and even in non-league, when I was talking to Nicky and when it was at Alfred, he got lads in it, and he said, he kicks it miles. He kicks it miles, and people want them types of keepers.
Yeah.
But I want somebody who can stop ball going.
You want somebody who can take crosses.
Yeah.
And save and also communicate.
Do you see many big keepers taking crosses now?
No, very few.
I don't.
There's a lot of flapping, and the ones who constantly are trying to catch and claim seem to be more in the minority, don't they?
I think so. I think probably the ball's swerving a lot more. I mean, I've heard that the balls are swerving a lot more, and they do seem to go a lot more. The old multiplex, what we used to have, they didn't move much. But no, you don't see the keepers catching as many balls now as what they did in the olden days. No. Tend to push it away and push it into areas, and I think that's what they practice pushing it away from danger. So, the game's changed massively, hasn't it? It's
generally speaking, are keepers as good as they were in your day? Or
I think so. I think I think that some of these keepers are really good. I think we're better now than what we were probably 10 years ago. As I say, Butland, I think he's different class. I think he's good. I mean, Pope's gone well, hasn't he? He was on loan at York. He's had a good spell, and he got in the squad. Hart was froze out.
Yeah.
He's had a good run, and I think I think it was probably Gareth Southgate made this lad who was going to bring the youth and bring them, so he's gone with that. So I think it's changed, and I think we're quite well off for keepers now. I think we've got to some decent keepers.
Right, wicket keepers as well. We'll talk about. We've only got a minute of part one to go, so there's plenty of these topics we can come back to. But it strikes me, just to sort of scratch the surface on this, that the role of wicket keepers has changed in respect of what's expected of them. Additionally, they've got to be good batsmen, haven't they, as well? To get in.
Yeah, there's no place in the side now for a keeper. As a keeper alone, there's no place in the side. Your keeper's expected to bat top six. Basically, or
be an all-rounder. Johnny Bairstow.
Yeah, I mean, he's been fantastic.
Yeah.
But he has improved his keeping. For me, his keeping's come on massive now. I think he'd be the first to admit he wasn't the best at the time, but from what I can gather, speaking to people from around the circuit, he does work really hard on his keeping, and I think this great term and he's continue the runs. But I think every county they're looking for keepers who can bat or batters who can catch a ball.
Yeah, it's a pity really, because probably the best keeper in the country in your early day was Bob Taylor, who wasn't a particularly good batsman, he was a master. We'll talk about him in part two. Take a 5-minute break. James Gregg will join us shortly, and you will too. See you then.